Sometimes we walk through life not with our heads held high, but with a weight pressing down on our hearts, a weight called the past. Maybe it's a mistake you can't forget. Maybe it's someone who hurt you deeply. Or maybe it's a version of yourself that you're no longer proud of. And even though time moves forward, your mind keeps replaying the same old stories again and again, like a song stuck on repeat. But let's be honest, how long will you keep dragging those heavy memories with you? How far can you really go when your spirit is chained to what you should have let go of long ago? You see, the past is not the enemy. It's just a teacher. It's a place of learning, not a place for living. The truth is, what's gone is gone. You can't rewrite it. You can't undo it. But you can choose what you carry forward. You can choose whether to wear your scars as shame or as symbols of strength. Every person you meet has a story. But the strongest ones aren't the ones who had perfect stories. They're the ones who learned to rise, even after falling, who chose to move on, even with broken pieces. This is your life, right here, right now. Not yesterday, not what you lost, not who left, and definitely not who you used to be. The question is, will you keep feeding the pain, or will you finally free yourself from it? In the next few moments, we're going to dive deep, not just into words, but into your heart. Because you deserve to heal. You deserve to breathe, and you deserve a future that's not controlled by your past. Let's begin this journey together, not looking back, but moving forward. One step, one truth, and one powerful realization at a time. 1. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. There's a strange thing about the past. It has already happened, but somehow it still lives inside us. Even though the days have gone, the feelings stay. We remember the words that hurt. We replay the mistakes we made. We relive the times we failed or were rejected. And slowly, without realizing it, we start to wear those memories like invisible chains. They follow us into the present and whisper into our minds, "You'll never be enough. You always mess up, or you can't change." But let's pause for a second and ask ourselves, is that really true? Or is that just the echo of pain we haven't healed yet? The truth is, your past is not your punishment. It's your lesson. And lessons are meant to teach you, not torture you. Think of your past like a classroom. Every mistake was a teacher. Every heartbreak, every failure, every bad decision, those were all part of the curriculum. No one graduates from life without learning something the hard way. Maybe you trusted someone who didn't deserve it. Maybe you gave your best in a situation that only gave you pain in return. Maybe you walked a road you later wished you hadn't. But guess what? You walked it. And you're still here. That means you've already survived the hardest part. Now the real question is, what will you do with the things you've learned? Most people carry their past like a burden. They walk through life dragging guilt, shame, and regret with them. But what if we chose instead to carry it like a book, one that we've read, understood, and now placed back on the shelf? Not to forget it completely, but to remember only what helps us grow. You see, a lesson becomes wisdom when you stop being angry about the experience and start being grateful for the growth. It takes maturity to say, yes, I failed there, but I know better now. It takes courage to say, that person broke me, but I've rebuilt myself stronger. And it takes love, real self-love, to say, I forgive myself because I didn't know any better back then. You are not who you were at your lowest moment. You are not your worst decision. You are not the labels that others put on you when they didn't see your full story. Just because you fell once doesn't mean you'll always fall. Just because you were weak once doesn't mean you aren't strong now. Think of a seed. Before it becomes a tree, it is buried in darkness. It breaks open. It's torn apart by the process of growth. But it doesn't stay buried. It rises, slowly, patiently, and eventually it becomes something beautiful. Your past may have buried you for a while, but you're not a victim of it. You're the one rising from it. Here's something important to remember. You don't owe your past a lifetime of punishment. You don't need to keep apologizing for who you were. The version of you that made those mistakes was still learning, still growing, still figuring life out. Would you treat a child with the same harshness you treat yourself with? Then why be so cruel to the younger version of you who didn't know better? The past should guide you, not guard you. It should shape you, not shame you. When we learn to accept the past without letting it define us, we become free. We begin to live with more compassion for ourselves and for others. Because once you understand that everyone has a chapter they don't read out loud, you stop judging. You stop holding on. You start healing. Ask yourself, what if you stopped blaming yourself and started believing in yourself? What if you turned the pain into purpose, the guilt into guidance, the regret into redirection? Life is not about erasing your past. It's about rising above it. The scars on your heart are not proof of weakness. They're proof of survival. So the next time your mind brings up a memory that hurts, don't push it away. Instead, tell yourself this: that was then. This is now. I am not that mistake. I am the one who learned from it. This shift in mindset is where true growth begins. That's when the chains fall off. That's when the light returns. That's when you stop carrying your past like a prison and start walking with it like a map that brought you to the present. And remember, your future is still unwritten. Don't let the past hold the pen. 2. You are not who you were sometimes. We judge ourselves by the person we used to be. We look back at our past actions, decisions, and behaviors, and we feel shame. We think, I should have known better, or why was I like that? And in doing so, we chain ourselves to a version of us that doesn't even exist anymore. But here's a truth you need to hear today. You are not who you were. People grow, people change, people evolve, and you, whether you see it clearly or not, have already changed in so many powerful ways. Think back to 5 years ago. Were you more confused? More unsure of yourself? More afraid of people's opinions? Probably. Because 5 years ago, you hadn't walked through everything you've walked through since. You hadn't yet cried those tears, faced those disappointments, stood up again after that heartbreak, or made it through those silent battles. The experiences you've gone through have shaped you. They've carved out deeper wisdom in your soul. They've softened your heart in some places and toughened your skin in others. That old version of you made mistakes, but they were necessary. They were a part of the journey. You couldn't become the person you are today without being the person you were then. So why do we hold on to the worst parts of our past? Why do we keep punishing ourselves with memories from a chapter we've already outgrown? Imagine judging a butterfly for once being a caterpillar. It wouldn't make sense, would it? Because transformation is a natural part of life. Just like a caterpillar goes through darkness inside a cocoon before spreading its wings, we go through emotional, mental and spiritual growing pains before we become more whole, more aware, and more alive. You don't live in the same body you had years ago. Your cells regenerate, your thoughts shift, your habits change. Then why live in the same identity? It's time to give yourself permission to move forward, not with denial, but with understanding, not with guilt, but with grace. So many people live their lives carrying the voices of others who still define them by who they used to be. Maybe someone told you once that you were a failure. Maybe someone called you lazy, careless, or selfish. Maybe you even said those things to yourself in a moment of weakness. But here's what you need to remind yourself every day. You're allowed to grow beyond the labels. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not the bad decision you made when you were scared or angry or hurt. You're human. You're healing. You're becoming. When you accept that you're not the same person anymore, something magical happens. You stop begging for forgiveness from a version of yourself that no longer fits. You stop explaining your growth to people who only know the old you. And most importantly, you stop sabotaging your future because of who you used to be. Let me tell you something that might be hard to accept, but it's necessary. Some people will never see your growth. They'll always see you as who you were when you made your biggest mistake or when you were at your lowest. But that's not your burden to carry. Their perspective doesn't define your progress. You don't owe anyone an explanation for evolving. You don't need permission to change. You just need courage. Courage to walk away from your old narrative. Courage to look at yourself in the mirror and say, yes, I was lost, but I'm not anymore. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm rising. Every day you wake up is a new chance to be someone better. Not someone perfect, but someone wiser, kinder, braver. The goal isn't to become someone new overnight. The goal is to keep becoming. One choice, one step, one day at a time. And yes, there will be days when your old self tries to come back. Maybe through habits, maybe through thoughts. That's okay. Growth is not always a straight line. Sometimes we fall back into patterns. But the difference is, this time, you'll recognize it. You'll be more aware. And awareness is the beginning of change. So today, take a deep breath and release the guilt. Release the shame. Release the old definitions. Tell yourself, I've grown, I've healed, I've learned, and I am no longer the person I once was. I am evolving every single day. Say it until you believe it. Say it until it becomes louder than the voice of your past. Because who you are becoming is far more important than who you were. And the only way to reach that new version of yourself is by letting go of the old one. 3. Don't let yesterday's pain steal today's peace. There's a quiet kind of pain that doesn't scream, doesn't cry, doesn't even ask for attention. It just stays. It sits quietly in the corners of your mind, shows up in the middle of a smile, whispers in your heart when you're alone, and colors your present with the sadness of the past. This is the kind of pain that time alone doesn't heal. It's the pain we carry from yesterday, the wounds that were never allowed to close, the memories that replay like unfinished songs, the regret, the betrayal, the loss. And if we are not careful, that pain becomes part of our identity. It begins to write our story, shaping our thoughts, our reactions, even our relationships. But here's a truth many people forget. What hurt you yesterday does not have a control your today. Just because something painful happened in your past doesn't mean you have to live inside that pain forever. The danger is, When you carry yesterday's hurt into today, you rob yourself of peace. You wake up with a heavy heart. You smile, but it feels fake. You're surrounded by love, but you feel distant. You try to move forward, but something invisible pulls you back. It's not the world holding you down, it's the pain you haven't let go. Let me ask you something. What are you still holding on to that no longer deserves space in your heart? Maybe someone hurt you deeply, someone you trusted, someone you loved. Maybe they walked away without explanation. Maybe they used your kindness and broke your spirit. Maybe life gave you something you didn't deserve, an unexpected loss, a sudden failure, a roadblock you didn't see coming. Whatever it is, I want you to hear this. You didn't deserve the pain, but you don't deserve to carry it forever either. Your peace matters. It's not a luxury, it's a right. But peace doesn't arrive on its own. You have to choose it. You have to fight for it. And most importantly, you have to protect it from what tries to destroy it, especially the thoughts and feelings from your past. You see, pain isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it teaches you what nothing else can. It wakes you up. It shows you who you are. It helps you understand others in ways you never could before. But pain is meant to pass through you, not to live inside you. A scar is a sign of healing, not of permanent damage. But some of us keep reopening the wound. We talk about it again and again. We replay the moment again and again. We speak as if it's still happening, as if we're still trapped in that same old situation. But you are not there anymore. The moment passed. The person left. The failure happened. Now the only thing left is what you decide to do with it. Here's the truth. If you don't make peace with your past, it will ruin your present. And the saddest part is, most of us don't even realize it's happening. We walk into new relationships but carry the fear of the old ones. We chase dreams, but doubt ourselves because of past failures. We try to trust, but keep questioning everyone's intentions. That's not living. That's surviving. And you were made for more than that. So how do you let go of pain that has become a part of you? Start by acknowledging it. Say it out loud if you need to. Yes, that hurt me. Yes, I didn't expect that. Yes, I'm still healing. But then, say this too. But I'm not going to let it steal another moment of my joy. Because healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing not to relive it anymore. Choosing not to give it the power to define your day. Forgiveness is another part of this process. Not for them. For you. Forgiving doesn't mean you excuse the hurt. It means you release yourself from the grip of it. You stop being a prisoner to the person or the moment that hurt you. You also need to remind yourself that you are not your pain. You are not your trauma. You are not the worst thing that's ever happened to you. You are a soul that has survived, a heart that still beats with hope, a person who is capable of healing and loving and dreaming again. And remember, your present is precious. You may not realize it now, but every moment spent carrying pain is a moment lost from building peace. Peace in your thoughts, peace in your home, peace in your relationships, peace in your own skin. So today, give yourself the gift of peace. Let go of the words that hurt. Let go of the things you never got closure from. Let go of the apology that never came. Let go of the past that already did what it had to do. It's time to choose yourself, to protect your smile, to guard your energy, and to say from this moment forward, yesterday may have wounded me, but today I choose peace. 4. The more you carry, the slower you move. Picture this. You're walking up a hill. The sky is clear, the air is fresh, and your heart is full of hope. But on your back, there's a heavy bag. At first, it feels manageable. But step by step, it begins to weigh you down. The climb becomes harder. Your breath shortens. Your pace slows. And eventually, you wonder why moving forward feels so exhausting. Now imagine this. That bag is your past, and everything you've been carrying inside it. The truth is, many of us are carrying too much. We carry guilt, shame, heartbreak, failure, betrayal, rejection, and all the what-ifs and I should-have knowns. We carry the weight of people's expectations, of missed opportunities, of things we wish we could change, and then we wonder why we feel stuck, tired, or uninspired. But how can we possibly move freely when we are emotionally, mentally, and spiritually weighed down? Let's be honest. Life is already challenging. It throws storms our way. It gives us twists and turns. So why do we add more difficulty by carrying extra emotional baggage that we were never meant to keep? Every hurtful memory you replay over and over again is like another brick in your bag. Every grudge you refuse to release, every mistake you won't forgive yourself for, every negative word you still believe about yourself, all of it adds weight. And the more weight you carry, the more it slows you down. Think about the most successful, joyful people you know. They're not people who've never been hurt. They're not people who've had perfect pasts. They're people who've learned how to travel light. They've learned that healing means choosing what to leave behind. They've learned that forgiveness isn't weakness, it's freedom. You weren't meant to carry every experience with you forever. Some people were only meant to be in your life for a season. Some lessons were only meant to teach you once. But if you keep reliving them, if you keep dragging them with you, you won't have space in your hands or in your heart for what's next. Let me give you an example. Imagine a traveler trying to run toward a train that's about to leave, but they're holding 10 huge suitcases. They're running, but slowly. The train whistles, preparing to leave. They trip, fall, and miss it. Not because they couldn't run, but because they refused to let go. That's what many of us are doing in life. Opportunities come, but we're too busy holding on to the past to grab them. Now ask yourself, what are you still carrying that's no longer helping you? Maybe it's a relationship that ended badly. You keep thinking about what you could have done differently. You imagine conversations that never happened. But that person has moved on, and you're still stuck in the loop. Or maybe it's a decision you regret, a career path you didn't take, a word you wish you hadn't said. But no matter how much you think about it, you can't go back in time. So why waste your energy trying to rewrite a page that's already printed? Some people carry the weight of guilt. They feel like they've let everyone down. They replay every flaw, every imperfection. But guilt only helps you if it pushes you toward better behavior, not if it locks you in a prison of shame. You must understand this. Carrying pain is not proof of strength. Releasing it is. It's not easy to let go. Sometimes we hold on because the pain is familiar, because it's all we've known. But comfort and growth don't live in the same place. If you truly want to move forward, you have to make peace with what's behind you. Here's what you can start doing today. Acknowledge what you're carrying. Be honest with yourself. Write it down if you have to. Name the pain. Don't run from it. Face it. Ask, is this helping me move forward or holding me back? If it's holding you back, you have your answer. Create rituals to let go. Write a letter you never send. Speak your forgiveness out loud. Burn a paper with the burden written on it. Symbolic acts can help your mind release what your heart is holding. Remind yourself, light travel equals long journey. The lighter you walk through life, the farther you'll go. Also, learn to say, I don't need to carry this anymore. Repeat it like a mantra. When thoughts of the past rise up, speak back. I've learned what I needed to. Now, I'm moving on. Remember, life is not about being weighed down by everything that's happened to you. It's about rising above it. It's about learning, healing, and then letting go. Don't wait until you're too tired to move before you decide to unpack the emotional baggage. Do it now, little by little, day by day. You'll feel lighter, freer, more open to joy, love, and new beginnings. Because the truth is this, you cannot climb toward your purpose if your arms are full of pain. Let go of the extra weight and rise. 5. Forgive yourself. You deserve it. One of the hardest things in life is not forgiving others. It's forgiving yourself. We often carry the weight of our own mistakes much longer than necessary. That one wrong decision, that one harsh word, that one moment of weakness, we let it define us. And in that process, we forget something very important. We are human. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has moments they wish they could go back and erase. But constantly punishing yourself doesn't change the past. It only damages your future. Maybe you hurt someone you loved. Maybe you didn't take a chance you should have. Maybe you gave up too soon or stayed too long. And now, even when the world has moved on, you haven't. You still carry the guilt like a shadow, following you into every new day. But let me tell you something that might just free you. You don't have to keep bleeding for a wound that's already healed. What's done is done. You can't go back, but you can move forward. And that movement begins with grace. Grace for yourself. Ask yourself this. If your best friend made the same mistake, would you keep blaming them? Or would you say, it's okay, you were learning? Then why not say that to yourself? You are not the same person you were when that mistake happened. You've learned. You've grown. You've felt the pain. And now you have a choice. Either live in guilt or rise with wisdom. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean you're ignoring what happened. It means you're accepting that you're not perfect and you never had to be. It means choosing peace over punishment. Write it on your heart today. I am not my past. I am not my worst moment. I deserve a second chance. From myself. Because healing truly begins when you finally say, I forgive you, and mean it in the 6, you can start over. Anytime. Have you ever looked at your life and thought, it's too late for me? Maybe you've made too many mistakes. Maybe you wasted too much time. Maybe people around you have already moved forward while you're still trying to clean up your past. And in that silence, in those lonely moments, a dangerous thought creeps in. I can't start over. But let me tell you something simple and powerful. That's not true. You can start over, anytime, anywhere. Life doesn't care how far you've fallen. It only cares about how brave you are to rise again. The world doesn't wait for permission to move forward, and neither should you. There's no rule book that says your first try has to be your only try. And even if the world makes you feel like you've missed your chance, the truth is, you can create a new one. Your past may explain who you are today, but it doesn't decide who you become tomorrow. People think a new beginning means starting a new job, moving to a new city, or ending a relationship. But the most powerful restarts happen inside your mind. A new beginning is waking up and deciding, I don't want to live in fear anymore. It's telling yourself, I've had enough of this pain. I want to heal now. It's the quiet moment where you look in the mirror and finally say, I'm going to try again. You don't need a new year, a birthday, or a big event to start over. You just need a decision. Right now, right here. This very second can be your turning point. Remember, life is not a straight line. It's a series of twists, turns, pauses, and reboots. Think of some of the most successful, inspiring people in the world. They didn't just rise once. They fell hard. They broke down. They lost everything. And then they started over. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for TV. But they didn't give up. They didn't say, well, this is who I am now. They said, let me try again. And that changed everything. You don't have to wait for life to give you permission. You give yourself that permission. Sure, starting over is scary. It means letting go of comfort. It means risking failure again. It means walking away from what's familiar, even if it's painful. But would you rather stay stuck in something you hate just because you're scared of starting fresh? You weren't born to live a life of what-ifs. You weren't created to spend your days regretting things you didn't try. You're here to live fully, to grow deeply, to change boldly. And if that means starting over at 30 or 40 or 60, it's okay. There's no deadline on growth. There's no expiry date on dreams. Every sunrise is proof that the universe believes in second chances. Now ask yourself, what is that one thing you've always wanted to do, but fear or failure held you back? What if you gave yourself permission to pursue it now? What if instead of focusing on what you've lost, you focused on what you can still create? Your story isn't over unless you stop writing. That's the power you hold. That's the freedom you've always had. So if you're tired, take a breath. If you're broken, take a break. But don't give up. Get up. Reset. Reimagine. Restart. Because no matter how many wrong turns you've taken, the right road is always just one step away. You can start over. And this time, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from strength, from experience, from wisdom. That's your advantage. You've survived. You've learned. Now it's your time to rebuild, not the old life you had, but the new life you deserve. So go ahead, wipe the tears, shake off the dust, turn the page, begin again, and remind yourself every day, I am never too late to start becoming who I truly want to be. Point 7. Let go or be dragged. Life often gives us a choice. Either we let go of what is holding us back, or we get dragged down by it. It sounds simple, but the truth is, letting go is one of the hardest things we ever have to do. Holding on to pain, anger, regrets, or fear feels natural because it's familiar, even if it hurts us deeply. We cling to the past like a safety net, afraid that if we release it, we will fall into the unknown. But here's a powerful truth. Holding on tightly to what harms you only drags you down slower and slower, making it impossible to live freely and fully. Imagine carrying a heavy load every single day, a bag filled with old disappointments, failed dreams, broken relationships, and words that once cut deep. That weight does not disappear just because you wish it away. Instead, it grows heavier over time, making every step forward a struggle. When you hold on to pain, you carry chains that bind your spirit. Those chains stop you from experiencing joy, from seeing new opportunities, and from building the future you deserve. Every moment you spend gripping the past is a moment lost to fear and sorrow. The past is a place where memories live, but your life is happening right now, in the present moment. You must choose. Will you let go of the past so you can move forward? Or will you allow it to drag you back, pulling you down into a cycle of hurt? The hardest part about letting go is fear. Fear of losing what we think defines us. Fear of admitting failure. Fear of stepping into a new chapter without knowing the outcome. But fear is not a sign to stay stuck. It's a sign that growth is waiting on the other side. When you let go, you create space for healing and happiness. You free your mind from the exhausting habit of replaying painful moments. You open your heart to new possibilities and new relationships. Letting go is not forgetting. It is remembering without pain. It is choosing peace over bitterness. It is reclaiming your power and deciding you will no longer be a prisoner to your past. You might ask, how do I let go? It starts with acceptance. Accept that the past cannot be changed. Accept that some people will hurt you and some mistakes will always be part of your story. Accept that pain is real, but it does not have to be permanent. From acceptance grows forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. Forgiveness releases the chains of resentment and self-blame. It clears the path for you to walk lighter and stronger. Another way to let go is through gratitude. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lost, you begin to see life differently. Gratitude shifts your mind from scarcity to abundance, from fear to hope. You don't have to wait for a perfect moment to start letting go. You can begin right now, one small step at a time. Speak to yourself kindly. Replace the thoughts of blame with thoughts of love. Surround yourself with people who lift you, not those who keep reminding you of your pain. And remember that healing is a journey, not a destination. Some days will be harder than others, and that's okay. Progress isn't always a straight line. There will be setbacks. But each time you choose to release rather than hold on, you reclaim your freedom. Life is meant to be lived forward, not backward. The past may be part of your story, but it is not your entire story. You have the power to write new chapters filled with hope, joy, and success. So make this promise to yourself today. I will let go of what drags me down. I will release the past and choose peace. I will not allow pain, regret, or fear to control my life any longer. You deserve to live a life free of heavy burdens, a life where you can breathe deeply, smile genuinely, and walk confidently into the future. Letting go is not losing. It is winning the battle for your own happiness. Remember, when you let go, you don't fall, you rise. Remember, your past does not define you. Only you can decide who you become. Carry the lessons, but leave behind the pain. Choose to live light, move freely, and embrace the future with an open heart. Every new day is a chance to start fresh, to heal, and to grow stronger. You are worthy of peace, happiness, and success. So take a deep breath. Let go of what no longer serves you, and step boldly into the life you deserve. Your journey is just beginning. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. If you found this message helpful and inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe to Mind-Blowing Motive for more motivational content that uplifts your mind and spirit. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Together, let's keep growing, learning, and moving forward. because your best life is waiting. Stay motivated, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next video.